Good morning and happy St. Patrick's Day. No, I'm not wearing green, topic for another time. Uh, but welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, you know me. I'm happy to see you. I'm always happy to see my friends and new people that show up and take an interest. So uh, again, good morning. Happy to see you. So today I'd like to talk about a couple of things. One being fear, and two, um, welcome to day 2 of working from home officially. So we'll start with let's start with the fear factor, okay? Because this is what I woke up to this morning, and I'm going to actually read this off of a screen, um, just because it's easier than trying to remember the whole quote. But I woke up this morning with a friend of mine having sent me a message online. And this message was a quote by H.P. Lovecraft. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Well, I think that's kind of what we're all faced with today. I mean, some of us are not in full-blown panic mode and are a little more than inconvenienced. Others are severely affected by this, and some people are in full-blown panic mode. Complete lockdown, quarantined, not leaving their house for any reason. I'm not one of those. I believe in getting outside and taking a walk. Um, we are making extra trips to the store to pick up little things they may have been out of that we can get today that we couldn't get 2 days ago or whatever. But we're not really making a big deal of um, of getting out and overstocking, as I'm sure you saw in my first video on this subject. Now, other people have greater needs than I do, so I certainly never meant to hurt anybody's feelings or imply people were, well, yeah, I guess I did. I implied people were overreacting. I directly stated it. Um, but I believe that the reason for that is exactly what I just said, fear of the unknown. People don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if the next time we go to the store, we'll be able to get what we need. Leading to my second quote of the day, FDR, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And I like both of those today, pretty much for the same reason. Um, so yes, while people are afraid and in panic mode, that panic, as I discussed before, helps create that situation. People get afraid, they can't get what they're going to need, therefore they buy too much. And then other people can't get what they need because the store's out of it. Fortunately, it's not quite as dramatic as that. And we're getting there maybe, but in my area, I feel the stores have done a pretty good job of restocking, and even though they may be out of something at 6 p.m., um, they are closing and restocking and cleaning so that they're so that they will have what people need when they reopen in the morning. So I think a little common sense will get us all through most of this. That said, again, we don't know how long this is going to last. The CDC recommendation was, um, as of the last I heard, was about 8 weeks. Um, some of us have loved ones who are in high risk groups. My mom has already passed away, so I'm fortunate not to have to add worry for her on top of all of this. But I do have friends that are affected. My Friday night group, I expect a couple of our friends are going to be pretty much locking themselves up at home and going out only when necessary. Now, I myself will only be going out when necessary, maybe. I mean, I've canceled all of my social events for a while. I'm working from home, which is great. And that's going to be the next topic. But in the meantime, let's talk about dealing with our fear. Um, whatever faith you have, you know, take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. If you, uh, you know, pray to, just pray, ask Jesus to step in and help you through this. Get guidance from Mother Mary, Muhammad, whatever your faith is, draw on that. Um, I really recommend draw on that. Myself, I'm continuing my daily meditation first thing in the morning. I'm reminding myself that this is a, it's just temporary. Even though I have made light of things and I joke about it a little bit, I'm finding myself a little nervous sometimes. We went to the store last night and again, they were out of all the same things they were out of the last time I went. Of course, going at 7 o'clock at night is probably different than going at 6 o'clock in the morning. And some people in more rural areas may not have the same options as people in big cities. Uh, Now, I'm a little more rural where I live, but I work in the city. And I'm close to the city. So uh, I can go from store to store where some people can't. So, yes, I do recommend buy a little bit extra, um, use less when you're home using what you've bought, um, and rely on your friends and family for support. Come together, have um, virtually. We're not recommending people gather in huge groups, but if you are at home with your family, eat dinner together, make one meal that will feed a lot of people. It's easier on the food resources, right? It's not always possible, but if you can, I recommend that. Uh, but definitely, even though we're social distancing, don't distance yourself from your loved ones and your support system. Get in chat groups online. Connect via video, Skype, FaceTime, whatever you use. I'm putting out my YouTube videos, and people that want to know what's going on with me can catch up pretty easily this way. Um, and of course, online chat groups and my phone and, just checking in with each other. Remember to check in with people. I think that's probably the most important part about this whole distancing thing is remember that even though we may not be in the same room, we are in the same situation. We're all in this together. Um, be kind, be compassionate, love each other, encourage one another, and that's pretty much what I have to say on that today. So, number two, working from home, which is part of that. Um, a lot of us find ourselves working at home with our children who would normally be in school but aren't, our pets who just love to spend time with us anytime we're home. They don't care if we're working or cleaning house or watching TV. They just like to be with us, right? Same thing with our kids. Um, we have partners and spouses, and in some cases, we have partners and spouses that are also working from home with us. We may not be used to spending this much time together during the workday. Setting boundaries is important. And uh, so I wanted to talk about a few things that get me through working from home. We know that I've done this before, um, not as much full time with another person in the house with me, but he works from home a lot too. We run a business and he handles the books, the inventory, um, or inventory management. There's a lot of his business um, that we do manage from home. So we are seeing a lot of each other. It's great. I love having more time with my family and people I love. However, we have to be careful not to let it interfere with our work, right? Now, my job, I do have a certain amount of work that I have to get done each and every day. Distractions need to be limited. We're not all in a situation to do this, but I am fortunate. I have a whole office at home. Um, we both do. We can retreat to our offices where a lot of people can't. So for me, I'm closing my office door mostly. I'm leaving a little space for the cat to come and go, um, and for him to peek in at me and just say hi as he heads to go down the stairs. I set up a coffee station or a coffee and tea station outside my office. So I do still have to get up away from my desk. I'm not going to be stuck at my desk for my personal computer time, my work time, and just never get up and leave. I highly recommend creating an activity and a reason to get up and step away. Um, take your regular breaks, your regular lunch break, your regular coffee breaks. Um, now, my job, a lot of our team members are on scheduled breaks. They take their break at a certain time, they go to lunch at a certain time, and some of us that have a little more flexibility, I still recommend making sure that we take those breaks and lunches and that we're consistent. It's not healthy to just sit and bury our heads all day long. So that's part of my plan. I created my coffee station. I could have set it up in my office. I chose to set it up in the loft outside my office. I have to get up and step away to clear my head for a minute, to just refocus and actually stand up and stretch, get the blood circulation going again. highly recommended. Those of you that watched my videos when I was working at home um, with the end of life situation with my mom, also know I recommend get dressed. Uh, that is so valuable. Yes, it's great that when we're not feeling so hot, we can get up and trog ourselves down the hall in our pajamas and at least get started. But I definitely I appreciate the value of that, and I'm sure there's days that I'll want to do that too. But as a rule, as a general basic practice, I do get dressed, do my hair, put on my makeup, get fully dressed, jewelry, um, everything as if I was going to the office, except my shoes. Confession time. I walk around the house barefoot. That is one thing I'm grateful for is I don't have to deal with shoes and socks. Awesome. Um, but aside from that, I'm, fully dressed. And that helps your mental attitude as well. Some people have trouble if they don't get dressed. They feel like, well, they can actually forget they're working. If you're dressed for the weekend or lounging, you might be one of those people that stays in that state of mind. And we can get a little lazy with our work. Now myself, I I will still work, but sometimes it just feels better to be to get dressed. And as my company, we're going to be having video conferences and meetings and such. So there may come a time people will actually see me on camera. So I want to be prepared for that. That's me. Other people don't have that, but it does, I think, still help your mental state to be, to be focused and more alert. And that's just my opinion. Um, but it is something I find helps. Another thing that I highly, highly recommend is even though our loved ones are home with us, again, try not to have those long interactions that we might have. Remember that this is still the work day. I'm not home to watch TV with you. I'm not home to talk about what the news is for an hour. Um, and we love to talk about current events and news and whatever, happens to be going on. But in my situation, I'm very blessed. We each have separate office space we can retreat to and, you know, come together and meet at lunch. Yesterday we had lunch together. It was quite nice, actually. Um, I went downstairs to make my lunch. He came downstairs, made his lunch, and we sat down together and enjoyed each other's company over a meal at lunchtime, which is something we rarely get to do. So there are some benefits to this too. Just remember to stay focused and get back to work on time and um, keep keeping productivity is really important. So that's actually another important thing during this is having something to focus on so that we're not constantly on top of each other. Go, going to your own space and focusing on your work. Um, Having something positive to do. If you're not, if you don't have a full-time focus, pick up a hobby, paint, paint something, clean something, knit something, um, read a book. Make the most of this time to do things that you don't usually have time to do. So I'm home on my breaks. I can go downstairs and wash some dishes, uh, or throw a load of laundry in, pick up the phone and take care of some of those um, business calls I can't make when I'm in the office, uh, during my break time at home. So there are a lot of positive things to this, and hopefully it will remind us all, as I keep saying, we are in this together. So that's pretty much all I have to say today, and I'm sure I'll have more survival tips later. If you have ideas, recommendations, please share them in the comments. I read each and every comment. I've only had a few so far, but hey, you know, you have to start somewhere, right? So I do read the comments. Um, if it gets, overwhelming, I may quit someday, but I've had like maybe 6 whole comments uh, between all my videos at this point. So that's where we are. I will read them. Hopefully we can get a conversation going. Uh, so in the meantime, stay blessed. Know that I love you all. Have a fantastic day.